Okay, let's call the Fire District Board meeting of July 15th to order. We have the roll call, please. I'll do that after.
Sure. Aldrich.
Here.
Beckman.
Here.
Fox.
Yep.
McLean.
Here.
Phelps.
Here.
Meridian.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you silence your cell phones and try not to text until the end? We have approval of the agenda, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Stands.
I have a motion by Phelps and a second by Fox. Any discussion? The motion stands as presented. Moving on to approval of the minutes of the June 17th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 17th, 2019.
Second.
I have a motion by Maureen and a second by Fox to approve the June 17th minutes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? Moving on, how about a motion to approve the minutes of the June 24th special?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special board meeting, June 24th.
Second. Okay, somebody that was at the meeting needs...
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice try, Ken.
I didn't know that was a rule. Okay, I read them.
Okay, I have a motion by Phelps and second by Aldrich to approve the minutes of the June 24th meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. We have public comment on agenda items only. In public?
They're not public except for Griffin, it's just guys.
How about if you introduce yourself, Griffin?
I can do that. You want me to step up front?
Sure, that'd be great.
Hi, everyone. My name's Griffin Graham. I recently started as the new Saugatuck Township Manager. This is the beginning of my... Wait, smile. Uh-oh, there's a lot of pressure now. This is the beginning of my 4th week, so I'm still new to the area, but I did grow up in South Haven, so I do have some familiarity with the general area. But I'm just really excited to be here and trying to meet as many people as I can these first couple weeks and get myself out there. I'm really excited in the position we're at. I think we've got a lot of opportunity the next couple months and longer than that as well. So I'm just here to observe right now, but I'd enjoy to get a chance to meet all of you later as well. But again, Griffin Graham, the new Township Manager. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks for coming. Welcome.
And welcome.
Thank you.
We like Griffin.
I just wanted to add a quick comment that we met with Griffin about some concerns, and it was scheduling, it was professional, attentive, caring, compassionate. He listened, and, you know, that's all we want is a chance to...
It's good that tradition is continuing.
It was a wonderful experience, and
Yeah, he's
it
doing
was,
a great job.
we had goosebumps walking out of there,
Yeah.
because it was just like, wow, it really is nice to talk to somebody, you know, on that level, and, you know, something that meant a lot to us. He was all ears, so I just wanted to, my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
And thank you. So, moving on, I don't know what to do after that. We have a request for payment. Do we have a motion to approve the accounts payable?
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable to the tune of, I don't have all the pages. The big one. Yeah, it should have 3 pages. Yeah, I think my parent put on me,
Okay.
whatever the amount is.
Oh, we're so
126,806.03.
We're so professional.
I'll second it.
how you finish it.
Maybe I should have made the motion, Scott second.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay. I have a motion by Phelps and a second by Beckman to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $126,806.03. Is there any discussion?
Wait a minute, I didn't all print.
I've had quite a few this time. Mostly things I don't know what they are, but, like Shag's Shop for Live Fire, is that like where we buy the couches and burn them up or something? or-
No, it's a great question. What that is, Kathy, is that's the facility we're building in the back lot that's built out of shipping containers. And there are 7 partners in that. So that is a check written out of that line item account charged to the partners for care and custodian of the money. So that check to Shag Shop, he is the welder fabricator. So that's, we're
That
just
was our
holding the money.
part, and we're, okay.
Right.
They're just running it through.
It's like installments, I assume?
It's just a payout on a portion of the work to Shag Shop. I think the final payout for this step of the process was done the other day.
Okay.
So we're almost maxed out on that budget.
And Shag Shop's easier than saying Shag Ways.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Because nobody can spell it.
Shag
A lot
Ways.
easier. Yeah. Does that answer your question,
Yes.
Tim?
And then the next one was, we bought we wrote a check for high-lift airbags to Grass Shop, and that's a community, so I just kind of wonder, are we buying used ones from them? What's that about? I just didn't understand.
We did a collaborative resource project with 2 other fire departments, Hamilton, Saugatuck, and Grascup, a total of 3. We had no high-lift airbags in the area. So rather than 3 departments funding that, we decided to go in together. As you may be aware, we are building a heavy rescue truck together. Grascup donated the truck, and we're modifying it. What does it mean? It means we have good resources for a fraction of the cost. We did the same thing as with the Aero Board, as with the Live Fire Training Center. We're collectively resourcing.
What do high-lift airbags do? I'm just curious.
High-lift airbags would be like for a semi.
Oh, okay.
For example, I don't want to be grim, we had a person trapped underneath the semi. We had no way to lift it up. There's one renting company that has high-lift airbags here, unavailable. And the victim was underneath the semi.
Oh, I see, so it
We had no way to lift it
the
up.
truck up.
So we ended
Oh.
up putting ramps underneath the wheels to get it up, and the framework of the car was caught on the framework of the semi-trailer. And we managed to get it out, and we had to cut the patient out. So, this has been 5 years in the works.
Okay. Yeah, I know, I've read the capital plan, and I just didn't remember that,
And if it's under $5,000, it typically isn't in there.
yeah.
But we're doing that more and more because why have 3 heavy rescue trucks? We sold ours.
Yeah,
You know,
I
'cause
agree.
we didn't need it back in 2013. And now all the PIs, personal injury accidents that occur, we decided to build one together.
Okay.
When's
Makes sense.
Heavy rescue truck is ready now. And you know, as we budget, as we get more time and money, we add equipment on that. So we dispatch it, it's housed at Grascup. They actually donated the truck. Like you donated the parcel back here, they donated the truck, they were gonna sell it. And we approached them. And they like that, the county likes it, we all should like that. So these fire departments around here are very serious about working together, and this represents that.
It won't take long for them to get there. Right close.
Or we're mutual aiding so much together anyway.
It's a good thing to have.
The other one was software subscription over 3,000, that just seemed real high to me, in the household, so I don't know, but
Some
your
of our-
fire department. but-
Yeah, some of our, like our Mobilize for inspection, some of our software is frightfully expensive. And that's like for one computer, you want to add another one on there, and Aaron could acknowledge that. We were shocked when we first went to like Mobilize, was over $5,000 and then an annual license fee. This particular software is, which one?
LexiPol.
LexiPol is, thank you. LexiPol is a annual, it's a policy, and it's done by a group of lawyers where they follow Michigan law in MIOSHA, and they draft templates for policies. We can copy that or tailor it to ourselves. So it's an annual subscription, then we don't have to be 4 or 5 years behind on policies. So LexiPol will be an annual fee. And yes, it's expensive, but Grass Strip's doing it, South Haven's doing it.
We don't.
Huh?
We don't.
Bangor? Yeah, matter of fact, I heard about it from Derek and from Roger. We all did it together.
Do you feel like you're getting value out of it? Like, what policies has it influenced?
For example, a policy on response, a policy on what do you do if you find a gun? You know, all sorts of policies. And Gordon Graham started it, and he was a California state trooper with a law degree and had a huge fire background. So he started the company. He's got, I think, 12 attorneys. And so, yeah, what our issue is right now, going through all of them and amending some of them. And what we have to be careful is policy and guideline. Policy is you shall. The problem with what we do is nothing is a saying. You know, you shall wear a seatbelt. Okay, I have a policy like that. But you shall take engine 2112 to a fire. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's on another fire. So we have to change some of that. We have to do that in the fall. We can't do that now.
Hey, any more questions?
I had 2 more, but I don't want to dominate.
Oh, no, go ahead, Kathy.
Okay.
Oh.
The 1,400 for the backpack blowers, and I'm picturing in front of the firehouse and keeping it clean, but maybe they're for other purposes.
Yes.
Because that's a heavy price for a backpack
Wildland
blower, too.
firefighting. They're for wildland firefighting.
Okay.
You cut a line in the debris, you blow it, and it's like taking a dozer and
Okay.
cutting a line. The DNR taught us that, so we've been working on that for 3 years.
Okay.
So it's a good question, Kathy.
And my
Never
last-
thought of using a blower on a fire.
My last one was Spencer Manufacturing, that was a big one.
Which one?
And it's annual, Spencer Manufacturing, 12,700, it's annual, and I just didn't recall what that is.
The annuals for the apparatus for the trucks, pump testing, annual service, fluid changes, things like that. Greasing.
I
The
thought we
chassis.
had regular maintenance all the time.
We do, but we bring in a company to take the truck and lift it up, and get the wheels off the ground, and to change the fluids. We do have maintenance.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any more, Kathy?
No.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Can we have the financial report, Peter?
We gotta finish the vote, please.
Oh,
Sorry.
All right, let's have a roll call.
So we had a motion by Phelps, second by Beckman. So we'll start there. Phelps?
Yes.
Beckman?
Yes.
Aldridge?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Verplank?
Yes.
Meridian?
Yes.
And Miller.
Yes.
Now, can we have a financial report?
Okay, the financial revenue statement expenditures is enclosed for fiscal year 2019. I believe we probably got a few more. I know we have another fuel bill coming from Doonesville, and we'll probably have a few other bills trickling in, but the revenue side is done. We collected $1,263,000, and it was $1,800 more than we originally budgeted the revenue. And overall, the expense side, you can see down here in the far right-hand column, you know, most of them are right in the high 90s. Overall, in the original budget, we had $50,000 in this budget that we put into our capital improvement fund. So there's still $83,000 excess of revenue that we don't have expenses. I don't know, how is the Ram truck? Do we have all the bills on that?
No, there's $20,000 in hose that just arrived. that
Okay.
it will be invoiced from last fiscal year, and then there's probably another $5,000 to $6,000 on the Rams.
So that's
So-
63, so there's...
So that'll be
there's-
most of that $30,000 over
Yeah.
the 50.
So I figure we're gonna have, we'll probably, towards the fund balance, we'll probably put, 80 grand easily away towards the next large purchase of a new
Good.
engine, so. I don't know, anybody has any particular line item questions, or?
Thank you. I guess everybody trusts you. Thank you. All right, moving on. Fire chief comment.
All right, I will just go through the highlights. Another record month, 99 calls for 2019, the month of June. It's obviously the biggest year we've had for highest calls, so. We're up, I think, 2.2, the next slide, Eric, we are up a little over 2%. 2% of 200 calls is one thing, 200% of 500 calls is another thing. So you can see every month we're doing 1 to 3, 4% on calls, so it's creeping up there. A lot of local calls, it wasn't tourism in May and June, it's a lot of local calls, and I'll share that with you. Pretty typical as far as days of the week, Friday to Sunday. In this case, it looks like it's a Sunday. Time of the day is typical. What you're going to see, and I'll briefly touch on it now and later, I think what the board has to understand is fires are this much of what we do. Honestly, I like to see the day when fire department's no longer in our name. It really misrepresents we are public safety, and I think you guys have wrapped your head around that. We're no longer a fire department.
Have you ever actually considered a name change?
Yes, we have it. We have one drafted.
As you start throwing out public safety, though, then you get the mentality of police.
Right. But it's
Public
actually,
service.
Yeah, it's actually, and this is strictly a proposal, Saugatuck Area Fire and Emergency Services, SAFES. Okay? So how you do Saugatuck and Douglas and Problem we have, Griffin, is everyone thinks we're township. We have that, the bills go there, everyone thinks we're under them. And we aren't, no more than we're underneath Douglas. So it was decided years ago we need to take township out of the name. We all know why we stopped that effort. And we aren't trying to dismiss Douglas. We are trying to think of what would be a clever name. So for another time we'll talk about that. And we weren't going to change lettering on trucks until we had to. So we weren't going to change uniforms, but it's easy to change the name of the fire department. I like, emergency services because it represents, it says fire, but still emergency services. Eric's got a point, public safety implies police.
You add R on the end, you get safer, the rescue.
You always gotta make me look like I'm always better than me. Moving on.
One guy.
Can't you miss next month? So we're at 2.9% on expectations. You can just see kind of the pattern on there. Nothing earth shattering. Half of the year we're at 34 calls on PIs. We all know that's going to be just climbing. Car accidents in our area have become alarming. This board has done tremendous amount of resource allocation. Money is presented to buy equipment. So I just was talking with the chief yesterday, and he said I'd rather do 10 house fires than be on the highway for what we do. I've heard that. I've said that.
Can I add, it may not be the right time to spend a lot of time talking about it, but it might be purposeful to have some sort of outreach from this board to the state representatives in the area regarding the resourcing involved in services on the highway. Simply to say, I don't expect, knowing the way government works, anybody's gonna come running to your aid with bags of money. But I think we owe it to our constituencies to say to these people, we're providing services for which we are, in general, not being expensive services involving people and equipment that's expensive, that should not be ours alone to bear. Yeah, you accept responsibility because the road runs through the township, but it's a federal highway, state police are in charge of it. How about a little help here? And getting Mary Whitford or whoever to, not go to baby showers, but, attack this kind of problem might be purposeful. But it'll take, it takes, you got to ask, so a strong letter follows.
May I? Sure. It was interesting because I was asked to do a presentation last Thursday to the Board of Commissioners in Alvin County on two things, a dispatcher proclamation that the chiefs drafted, and specifically Fire Training Center. They wanted to hear how we're working together. I hope you understand how challenging it is to get 7 fire chiefs to agree on something. Not only that, think about the jurisdictions. You have 12 municipalities agreeing on this budgetary-wise. That is a huge thing. And what do? We engage the Alvin County Sheriff's offices to use their drone to do photos for the presentation. Chris bailed me out with the PowerPoint. Chief Havertink and I presented it. They love this. This is what it should be like, working together. Parallel to that, Saugatuck will be called by the county and the state police on so much as a hole in the road. We had, was it 4th of July, Kyle?
Yeah.
4th of July, state trooper, there was a huge hole in the road just immediately north of 41 Bridge. Andy Jamrod, state trooper, was covering it, was about to get run over, called us out with an arrow board. I went out there first to protect him. Kyle came out to protect me. I got off the highway. And that hole damaged 2 cars severely.
Like 6 cars.
6 cars.
Yeah.
I left 2 when so you can just see, they're no nonsense. They'll be in South Haven and say, we want Saugatuck Arrow Board. You're paying for that.
Right.
And like Dan said, you might want to let people know about that, what you guys have done. And
Even let.
we all want to go home at the end of the day, and we talk about working together, but sometimes that can be very shallow.
And it's something we can carry to our jurisdictions too.
Right.
To write the letter as well, because it's their money.
Because we're funding it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, MDOT's very generous with their equipment, but they're not very generous with the money that it takes to run all that stuff on the highway. And MDOT really should be taking care of the highways, not Saugatuck Fire. So I think we need to make a case for at least some funding for all of this.
I think it's, if we don't do that, I think we're exposed to anybody coming in here and saying, how can you say you look after our, constituents, saying, how can you say you're looking after our financial thing when you let money spill out to the highway with nothing coming back?
We have the state police thanking us all the time for parking our vehicles behind them. Saturday we were dispatched to, I was working in my storage building, a PI right by Whatnot Inn. We had no police. Nobody for probably 15 minutes. And you know who came down to help us in the township? Tino. Then maybe 7-8 minutes after that, the county showed up, sheriff, because they got a huge area. But Tino came down to help us with traffic control. Kyle handled south end, Mark Gagano handled the north end. That's what it takes nowadays to do it safely. And the highway is just so dangerous, so...
People don't slow down.
No. We've got a great program, great training, a lot of experience. and you gave us the tools to do it. So it's nice to share that information, because you have to be innovative and progressive nowadays in public safety, or you will fail. And this board, I think, exemplifies what it's like to work in that. Well, gosh, you gave more aid, Greg, than you got. Yeah, you did, and that's in the report. So, I won't say anymore. Commissioners would be a good one for you to start off with.
Yeah, I just think we need some funding for what we're doing.
I would start with a resolution, or a resolution conveyed by a letter. It basically screams help.
Yeah, a little bit of monetary help here, but.
Yeah, be real nice. Okay, moving on, where are you, Greg?
Yes, okay. Sadly enough, as far as community risk reduction, 55 fatal fires to date, 14 since the last meeting. Our insurance grant was submitted. Chris was the author. We're trying to get a fence around the perimeter. We feel a real strong need for a fence. We're going to see what happens with that. Very hard to get anything like a fence out of our insurance carrier. On D, I want to let you know, 2192 is the number for the mid boat. We've had a number of issues with this fire boat. This boat is the only boat equipped with a pump to go upriver. We have probably 1,200 slips upriver. Our boat was actually out of service for 3 days. Then we had a trailer issue. And then after that, we had a boat lift issue where this particular boat is up on a lift, and the lift collapsed. It is out of commission, and I found out that it's been overloaded, and occurred before I took over, so we're not going to put any money into it. We do have in the capital plan this boat to be replaced, and I want to let you know we're working on that now.
This is the jet boat, as we
Jet
call
boat,
it.
which we're hoping to get rid of the jet boat aspect, but the boat's ready to be replaced, and we need something with a pump we can get high speed upriver on. So I want to share with you that we are working with Dave Anderson and some other people. Dave Anderson is a builder in Douglas who did the fire pump. So we have budgeted for it. We're hoping we can do it in the budget, but it's in process. Right now, this 2192 is on a trailer.
Does it make any sense to relocate that boat? If it's always going upriver, primarily?
It doesn't, and that's a good point, but it doesn't always go upriver. Where is our target area for protection is Kalamazoo Lake. That's why being strategically located at Lucy and Water Street is great. Out on the lake, I don't have exposures, but I do downtown Saugatuck. So the quicker I can get there, the better. Upriver is an issue. The police boat will get up, that everybody has no firefighting capability.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, like with Key West.
We can. Matter of fact, sitting down, Matt Peterson offered us a couple of choices on slips. With that boat, we have to be able to plug it in. I was going to keep it in Silver Lake on my boat lift. Number two, my boat lift won't handle the load. Number two, I have no power in Silver Lake. So right now, it has to be trailered to where it's going to go, and it goes in tomorrow to the welding shop to have the hitch replaced because it came off the truck. So I started looking around a place to keep it. We could keep it there, but then I have two locations to check we check the boats once a week. So I'm not dismissing your idea, but that boat has to be kept out of the water.
So how are we gonna do that without the
we keep it on the trailer for the rest of the summer.
Oh, okay, all right.
So your plan is... What does that need?
I'm sorry?
Does that need a 10,000 pound lift?
No, I think what we would need for, because
Five is probably.
I don't want to look at a lift because the next boat's going to be 21 or 22 feet. That will be painted to be in the water. So we don't have to worry about the whole lift thing. So, the whole frame broke, it collapsed.
That's an old lift.
It's an old lift.
The old one we got it.
It was for 2 jet skis. And now we put a pump on this diesel-driven jet boat, and it just collapsed.
I know this is a touchy subject, but what kind of boat are you talking about replacing this thing with?
Oh, great question. We're looking at 2 things. We're looking at a monohull, or we're looking at a catamaran, a multi-hull type vessel. And we met with Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson actually built a 21-foot fireboat that he sold to Matt Peterson. I'm sorry, Eric. Eric, and it was up in Beaver Island. Eric wanted to sell it to us. I couldn't fund it at the time, and we were uncertain if it's exactly what we wanted. So we said, can we try it out? And he says, yes, just give me a waiver, and it's in the shop now, having the impeller. It's a jet boat, but it's a much newer style. So I thought we would try out that boat. But 21, 22-foot range, because it can go in 12 inches of water, has a great payload, and you could put a 400, 500 gallon per minute pump and not throw it out of trim like the current boat we have now. So the advantage of a multi-hull is you have a flatter platform to work off of.
More stable.
Generally, I'm sorry?
More stable.
Stability, you know. And Dave Anderson is looking at both avenues, and they're going to come up with some proposals. I want a no-nonsense utility aluminum boat, no paint. You have that, a big one now, but as you know, it can't get under the bridge, and it draws 4 feet of water. So you have to have something higher speed with firefighting capability. Primary would be firefighting capability. I'm a monohull guy, but Chris and some of the staff members enlightened me to some of the advantages of multi-hull, so we'll look at that. And then what can we build within the budget? And we're going to also look at Eric Peterson's boat.
Can it not get under the bridge just because the water's so high? I mean, if it
Can't
were
get
lower? Or?
No, we could get underneath the bridge, but with the big fireboat, the problem is that the draft is too rich.
Oh.
Can't get very far with it.
You'll bend props. I mean, we bent props at Lucy Street. It was $4,300. We won't take that chance.
So when you say upriver, do you mean anything on that side of the bridge?
There's a lot of real estate to
There's
protect.
1,200 slips up there.
I'll bet you that's minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And they're adding more in Douglas, as
Right.
you know.
And we've had rescues up there, you know, and the problem with the existing boat is it's very slow. So is our 2191 boat. It's very slow. But
Yeah, but you're carrying that big of a pump, you can't expect to be.
yeah, and also
flying.
2191 is designed to augment the water supply for Douglas and Saugatuck City.
You know, that's something a lot of people don't understand.
I know.
And I get fed up talking about it, I'm like, wait till one of these buildings go up, and we run out of water in the city, and people are standing around looking at each other.
You run 2 aerials in downtown Saugatuck, which is very likely, and you just depleted the water supply off the reservoir. If it's in the summer, 2191 will be your pump, it'll be your reservoir. That's why we did it. And who taught me that was South Haven. Just want to show.
If you deplete 1 million gallons pretty quick.
Well, we'll lose pressure.
Mm-hmm.
We'll outpump the water mains. We'll pump 3,500 gallons a minute between 2 aerials, and we can't even deliver that through the 12-inch main. It's about 2,300.
Your neighbor doesn't have any ideas, does he, Warren? Wolf? Is he all?
He's got lots of ideas.
Well, I know.
No, Warren's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
And just so you know, Warren has probably, I've done 3 or 4 rescues with Warren's boat, because he's my neighbor.
Right.
I pulled a girl out of the water with his boat. So who's
He's
going
right there.
under? I just take the boat and then I ask him later. More on that later. Okay, Live Fire Training Center, it's been painted by Padnos and repainted by Chris Mannels. Leave it at that.
there a story there?
We'd rather not talk about it.
It's getting close. We'll do a media release on this. We're hoping that State Fire Marshal will be there. We'll let you know. We're hoping within the next 2 to 3 weeks to do a media release. There's signs being made up with all the donors. As you know, there's about $40,000 in donors and sponsors on this project. So that's what the sign will be for. Many of you are aware of the car wash that Aaron Wilkinson put together for the Betts family. I've never seen anything like in this town the response we had for the Betts family. It was unbelievable. I hope I never have to wash it on a car again. But it was unbelievable. There were people coming in from the east side of the state. There were fire departments bringing in their POVs, their personal cars, 2 or 3 times in a day. I've never seen anything like it before.
I was asked how much was raised, and I said, I have no idea. Is that something we're gonna keep private, or is it a release of a range?
I think that, the family should announce that. The reason I can't answer as precisely is, there were a lot of envelopes I threw in the safe. So I can tell you that, the car wash, not counting Cowhill, what Cowhill did, and all the other envelopes were $21,500. So I think that's something the Betts family should disclose.
I'd also say that the mechanism, or the mechanics of setting it up is about as slick as you can have it. And I thought, as an additional advantage, it got people inside the fire department. You're just driving through and you see, holy cow, you know, I guarantee you, the vast majority of people
Never been there.
we serve have never been in there.
It was phenomenal. You had Chief Kent for probably 5 hours washing a car. You had
Lori was there.
Lori was there. You had probably 7 deputies. You had Sergeant Wagner. I don't think he's ever washed a car in his life.
Yeah, it was a good car wash.
It was
a
phenomenal.
good car wash. They were doing a
I
good job.
got to talk to your lady partner.
Right, and I got to watch because you didn't know I was in the next car.
It was phenomenal. It was very rewarding, and it was nonstop. And then, give me the name of the church, guys. Third Coast.
Yeah.
Not only brought the food, they paid for it and cooked it and fed us throughout the day.
That was amazing.
For 2 days.
You know, Stacy was there, you know, collecting money. It was
Both days, yeah.
It was
I was
unbelievable.
sore, and I didn't wash a car, so I can't imagine what you guys felt like after
Stacy was
washing
the one
those.
who does that.
I was in
Yeah,
physical
give me your
pain.
money.
But it was not unusual for people to drive into the car wash and hand you $100 or $50.
Yeah, oh yeah, that one place from
There was London Township
yeah.
Fire Department came
Yeah.
up in here $1,600 check.
they had a fundraiser for this fundraiser.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty amazing, really.
Hamilton covered for the whole funeral that day, and typically what you do is we pay them for and we wanted them, originally it was 4 hours, then it turned into 9 hours. And the chief says, don't even insult us with paying us for this. And that, you know, that's what's happening here.
Mhm.
And then the county did the whole traffic control with Douglas Police down to the...
It was a great outpouring of community support, and I think the car wash helped the community because everybody wanted to do something,
Mhm.
but they didn't know what to do, so they came and helped at the car wash. And I even had a Grand Rapids firefighter stay with me afterwards, and he said, well, when's your car wash? Because our department wants to come down and wash cars. And I'm like, well, you're a week late, but thank you. But, I mean, it's just that kind of support. The whole fire family in the area is just tremendous.
With that said, Lake Vista contacted us and wanted to donate water. He did not want any public safety agencies paying for water. He wanted that clarity. He had an anonymous donor along with himself. So they gave us water for National Night Out, and then they gave us water for the state police, Douglas Police, and Alton County Sheriff's Offices. And that's probably the 3rd time this year. National Night Out, which is in recognition of our great police departments and fire departments will be Tuesday, August 6th. Want to share that with you. I have one thing I just wanted to interject. Cal Hill approached me. Cal Hill,
Randy getting his haircut?
they're one of the finest organizations around here, the most unselfish people. And they asked me if I would attend this person having his hair cut off. And I said, yeah. And somebody brought a hedge trimmer down. There's another one, right, with, okay. So I called Kyle at the last moment, I said, Kyle, I need the cutters down here. And he goes, what? I said, bring the cutters down here. So you can't see all the people around there for $100, and Vicki wrote a check for $100. We paid for this. And we pretended to cut his hair, and then I wanted to get a tourniquet because I We want to share that with you. $7,000.
Wow.
$7,000, and Cow Hill is one of the just stellar organizations here. And Randy looks a lot better with ball there, and he got a kick out of it. It was so much fun, and it was all impromptu. Kyle, I love you for coming down with a 5-minute notice. Thank you.
I want to see his after, when it cut off. Yeah. I want to see what he looks like.
He just cut his ponytail off, didn't he?
No,
they shaved it.
He shaved it.
Oh, really?
Well, his ponytail looked like a
He looks
gray squirrel. I'm friends with Randy, so I can say that. We're good friends, so he looks much better.
He's a good guy. It was a lot of fun, I wouldn't tell you that. And I don't even know how we thought of the Jaws thing until I saw the hedge trimmer, and then I ran with it. Thank you.
I think my wife pays about the same much when she gets her hair cut from Michelle.
Yeah,
Sure seems
probably.
like it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business, cost recovery, Douglas frequent flyer.
So we really have that in 11A. We've got a, that's not it. We have a resolution for your review that if you decide to, we can follow it. It sort of goes after South Haven. Basically what it is if we decide we can bill after 4 responses in a 3-month period, we can bill them to try to get them to follow another means of health care rather than us being a go-to clinic. Chris is working with Mary Whiteford on some issues, and she's real helpful in DHS is exactly the best organization that we were told to use. So what the resolution does is provide you with an avenue. If you so elect, we can bill that person that way. As you know, there's probably been 73 calls in 18 months on this person, and it's out of control.
So didn't we discuss also billing the Life Alert?
Yes.
For sending the wrong people to a call?
Yes. And that was struck a real nerve with 911, because they didn't realize this is not being handled properly. 911 is actually responsible for some of this as well. Whatever it is, dump it on the fire department. Unknown, whatever it is, we got nothing to do.
So
Yeah, something needs to be done with it.
It gives you an avenue. It doesn't mean you have to do it, because finding cost recovery, it's very difficult. We're going to bill everyone. It doesn't work that way.
The only thing I see is it seems like 4 responses in 3 months, you could have a couple unfortunate incidents at your home and cover that.
And we can change this. It was 4 responses in 6 months.
Well, I think one of the things, if you put at your discretion,
right.
If you want to do that, because then it puts a little burden on you, which I don't think you want. But this just seems a little. I mean, we know what we're trying to accomplish here. This person called that many times.
Darren, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
The 4 responses in 6 months, is that what South Haven does? Is that That was it.
Their resolution is 4 responses in 6 months, but that, it's just something that's, oh, let's just do this. Let's
So
do
this is more
everything.
strict than that.
Well, you don't have to do it
No.
to that. You can, when you know it's abuse, you have the right to do it by having the ordinance, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. That's what I like.
But then I
Correct.
think
Because you
it
know
opens
the
you up to,
abusers.
Yeah, judgment, then it's his judgment
Right.
call, and he doesn't want that because somebody say,
why did you?
well, you
kill
did
him?
it there, but you didn't do it here.
You
I
like
just
that?
want to be on the same page with the board as far as your feelings on,
My feeling is it has to be
Has to
done.
be done.
I agree with you. What I
He's
want
not
to
the
do is
only
make
one.
sure we don't put you in a weird situation because,
well, by quantitating, that would be the answer.
Well, the way that it reads though, it says we will invoice.
yes.
If you change that to
May.
can invoice,
We may.
We have the right to invoice or something like
yeah,
that.
it's not, whatever, just so that it's not,
But then it becomes arbitrary once again.
But
that's what you're asking for anyway. I
We
mean,
may-
Who's really
incur
gonna come
expenses,
after?
I-
I mean, a FOIA, they'd have to, how would they know who else he did or who they did?
But
They might FOIA,
I
guess.
think,
You gotta remember
Bring-
where we live. Everyone FOIAs everybody.
I think one thing that comes into council is that, like, when my ex-husband was so horribly sick, we probably called the fire department maybe, what do you think, Fred, 4 or 5 times in 3 months for lift assist, but it wasn't 73 times in 18 months.
I agree
It was
with
a
you.
limited time while he,
And the nature of that was different.
Mhm.
right.
The nature of it was this, he wasn't drunk.
No.
Right.
No, he wasn't.
It was different. He was an invalid.
Right.
And I'm not so sympathetic to drunks after 72 calls.
I wonder
To be
if
honest.
that may be where you apply
The
it.
type of call.
Where you, and you specifically, since that's where the problem is, you call out that type of call,
Right.
where it's, as a result of inebriation or whatever, boom, then you're golden.
You don't
And you
test
need-
people
Because
for
cost
alcohol, do
recovery is
you?
all about
We
the
have.
public.
Have you
You don't
do?
do it unless
You
somebody
can.
did something.
I didn't know that.
Not us, we call
Well,
cops.
Yeah, oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is what happens if you had a 2-bit electrician come into your house, and you, God forbid that happens, and you have issues that just kind of pop up, you have like 4 of them in a month. Next thing you know, well, you guys could bill me for it, and I want to get my, I gotta get this thing fixed, I understand that. I know it needs to be done, and I
Oh,
agree with it
yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Do you have a lot of people that you go to that often, or is this case?
This is very unusual. We've had it over the years that I've been here. Typically, you'll run into somebody who has maybe a 4 to 6 week low period where they require care, and then it ends.
Because they're terminally ill or whatever.
Or
and
just they get better,
Oh,
or worse.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is different in that we recognize it's a disease like anything else.
Right.
The problem is what it's doing to the crew and taking them away from a true emergency. And everyone's frustrated, AMR, everyone.
Do you have any data that would say over the last 24 months, how many people this would have applied to? Or whatever time period we have data for?
We can get it,
Yeah,
we can
would.
get that. So you want to know similar type
So how
responses?
could we, if we enact this, what could we expect for how many people would we actually start to bill based on this policy? Is it just that one person, or are there 10 people who this would apply
You know where
to?
you get a lot of it? We could bill everybody down in downtown Saugatuck on Saturday nights. Because everybody is just
We had
overserved and drinking.
You had one of the
But they,
last one.
people on Saturday nights call you over and over because
No,
they
we get
fell or
called
things
because
like
they're
that?
incapable, they drink too much.
The
Overserved.
bar-
But
the
that's
bar-
tourists, right? It's not a repeated person, same
No, no.
person.
No, but I mean, it's just such a,
There's
you're
so many
correct.
people.
Right, but I
But,
think
you know,
he's asking for
We've come real close to charging these people on this because That is not our job.
But it goes back to the fire department being the catch-all for
Right.
everything that's wrong.
You know,
Which
they
is
throw up on
bullshit,
you,
you know. Greg, I wholeheartedly agree. We've had one, you probably remember the guy, wasn't he, on Maple Street for a while there? He was calling.
Yeah, one on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
Anthony,
We go
one
through
of
this
them.
once in a while.
It's not that
And that's
often.
what we want to avoid, or.
Right, get a handle on it.
So-
This is an extreme case, extreme. We
So-
recognize diseases where people, you know, you be rolled over or something like that, and they send two small people to pick up a 300-pound person. Okay, we try to talk to Life or whomever it is, send somebody who can handle the job. This is such an unusual situation that it had to be brought to your attention.
Well, I don't have, I mean, I think that's 4 responses in 3 months isn't, you know, doesn't seem like much, but will invoice, like you said, that means we're going to, whether it's a frequent flyer or I have an electrical problem and you guys have to come to my house 3 times.
Are you gonna do every call or start at the 4 point? Start after they've hit their, you know, limit, or do you go back to the first 4? Is that-
What I would do is, if the board decides to have some form of resolution like this, not shall, we may, from this point forward, once we get to the 5th call within 3 months, we would start billing.
You're not gonna backbill then?
Correct.
Oh, no. No, this family is truly abusing the fire department,
Right.
and that they're using them for care for this woman.
Right.
And that's not our job, that's the status of, we had somebody that wanted us to pick up her father and take her someplace for the day and then go get him and bring him back home.
Yeah.
And that, we're not that kind of service, so I think,
We have Uber here now.
I think if you change Will to May,
That would work.
settles
I
it.
think too, because it's so rare, and I think the chief could make the judgment, it wouldn't
It is.
come
I
up.
think this is just
It's
not
typical.
I still disagree with changing will to may because it does open up accusations of subjectivity and favoritism, or it should, in my mind, should just be a policy that is not open to judgment.
But what if it's a legit call, like they just gave examples of 4
So
times?
they get charged for it.
Or change
Still using the
language in the beginning.
service in excess of
Name that a call.
the average, by far. I still think they should be charged for it.
Whatever you want me to do, I'll
What'd you
do.
say, Peter?
What about the language in the beginning, if it's the same kind of emergency medical calls? I mean, it's one thing to have electrical problem and a fire and a broken leg, but if you keep having the same electrical problem 4 times in a row, we're not your town
Well, right.
electrician, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, just to be clear, we have an ordinance that addresses false alarms,
Okay,
so.
but as long, anything, if it's the same false alarm, or
Well,
the
that's-
same EMT, if it's the same kind of call, then it should be
Redundancy.
billed.
If the
But if
same
you have multiple
redundancy-
different calls in 90 days, well, that, you have some bad luck.
Could you add a clause about if it's their fault? That would include a drunk then, just like in our cost recovery talks about fault. And that way it would cover, you will be billed if it's deemed it's your fault. And that way, the people that do it 4 or 5 times that are legit won't get it. Could you add a line like that? Somehow the fault.
Well, you're going down a road where, in my opinion, alcoholism is a disease and not a choice. Or it's not their choice to drink, they have a disease. So I don't think we can go that route.
How come on a fire
I
they
want
can't?
this to happen, it has to happen. This is ridiculous.
But on a fire they can, Eric. If it's proven that a guy was drinking and he knocked over his kerosene, we bill him. If I recall correctly, we bill for that kind of.
Right, it
fault.
was, that's an accident. And he has insurance to cover it.
How much is it, do we know, I mean, or is it determined what?
How much do we bill?
Yeah, how much for,
Typically, it's a crew of 4 in a truck, so it could be $100 to $150.
My only concern with this would be the word around the same location, to your earlier point around, if it's Grace of Douglas, which is one location, you may have excess of 4 calls there in a 3-month time period. So is it based on the individual, not the location?
Well, the way we looked at a healthcare facility is the board kind of handled that in a way when we were being used for lift assist. Their policy, they wrote their policy so that none of their staff could pick up anybody that fell down. So the fire department could do it. And we protested and got that changed. We have not experienced that frequent flyer situation at the Grace.
Well, you had 4 in June.
Not the same patient.
Not the same patient, though.
Same location.
But same, okay, that's what you were pointing
Different
out.
room number.
No, not the same location.
You do prove it's got a point there.
Well, I think in the case of people who use the fire department for lift assist for critically ill people, may never use the fire department again for anything. I mean, or probably haven't used them for anything up to that point. So I think there's a difference between that and somebody that calls 73 times in 18 months. That's just abuse. So we have to decide when abuse ends or starts.
Why don't I come up with some alternative wording and you can look at this next month? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
Let me,
You could change it to 1 month, 4 times in 1 month. To me, that's abuse.
Yeah.
You could have 4 separate incidents
Yeah.
in 3 months at the same location. You could have, like we talked about, different things happen, but that's not saying that. It's, we will bill you on the 5th time. You could have 5 different incidents. That's what I'm saying, if it, in 1 month time, pretty much, that's abuse.
again, it kind of, you know, it kind of is the nature of the call, because there might be one time where this particular patient we're speaking of really needed us 1 out of 20 times. You know, when she's not locked out of the house, or she loses her glasses, no.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but like we talked about the last meeting I was at, we don't go. She's laying in the yard and she's dead. We're in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, you can't not go. But if
Would it be okay with the board if I came up with some alternatives to this?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't you?
The good thing is we haven't heard from her lately.
Well,
Maybe you need to do a well check.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, maybe you better go check it.
Just go over and see if she misses you yet.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but, you know, we got to be a little bit of the devil's advocate, and Aaron had some good points, and Kathy did, and let's make our adjustments and do it.
You know, I
'Cause
just
we support
worry,
you,
right.
I mean-
I worry if the person that is in a situation with a really ill, I mean, I know it could happen, I mean, you know, and you do need help, but it could be a very short period of time. I
Right.
would think if it goes on for a year, you know, you gotta put them in a home or
Right.
something, you know?
So John, Kyle, after the meeting, would you run over and have coffee with this nice lady and make sure she's okay? Because we haven't heard from her lately.
I'll take Kyle's off too, you can just go have some vodka with her.
Bring Bailey.
I'll bring the mixer, see, I heard she's got the vodka.
Okay, so we'll put this one on hold.
We'll just table it.
We'll table this till the next
Sure.
meeting.
Limes.
Okay. I move we table this to the next meeting. Second. Kathy's the second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. All right, moving on to new business. Resolution 2019-01. What's
That's the one we just
Oh,
tabled.
all right, oh,
Right.
all right. So, MMR MA review.
Yes, so, Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority is our general liability insurance company. I did a summary right here, should have it before you. Our premium is up, should be no surprise, and I can explain why. The replacement cost on our fire trucks was too low. and I've been considering changing this for some years now. Now is the time to do it. For example, the one engine down there was $325 to build, it's $625 now. Kind of talked about this at budget time. The aerial, to replace the aerial would be about 1.2 mil for that. So, the insurance company was after me, and I said, well, you know, you can make money on every $1,000, and I was reluctant to do it, and then I looked at it, and I was undervalued. I went from 1.74 million to 3.4 million. Our public safety general liability increased. What this means is our exposure, and this relates to, we are no longer a fire department per se. We are doing lots of things that are different. Examples, active violent incidents, churches and the schools, puts us in a whole different perspective. So that exposure has increased. Thus, the liability insurance has increased.
Do we insure for full replacement cost on the equipment, that first item?
Yes. There's two exceptions, the DNR trucks aren't replacement cost. Because we don't own them.
I mean, with any insurance, that's a question you ask yourself every time. How much of this is absorbable risk?
That was about 5,000 increase on the policy.
That's what I mean. And you don't want to be not covered for sure, but do you need to be covered
Enough.
$1 million
Do you
for a...
don't overinsure?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't insure the aerial for 1.2 million.
No, I'm just saying. Whatever.
I insured it for like 600,000. We paid under 200,000 for it. The good thing about your insurance company that you have is threefold. You have grants in the form of certification grants, or you have RAP grants, like the fence, and we all know that that's added up to be significant. And what's great about MMRMA is that it's a pool. It's a state pool, and it's a net asset pool. So you get refunds if the money isn't consumed, as you know. That's what makes this plausible. And you can see, yeah, our policy went up $9,100, but you're getting $10,600 back. I had one year where our policy was $23,000, you got $24,000 back.
What?
Yeah, I don't make this stuff up. So you have a tremendous insurance company, and I can tell you from the few incidents we've had as far as damage on a truck, an aerial, going through a garage door, hitting the building, it's like this. Do we need 3 quotes? Nope, get one. Done, paid for. So service-wise, it's impeccable. And MMRMA recognizes Saugatuck as being a much different type of operation as far as, you know, we didn't do the whole active incident thing 10 years ago. Now it's expected of us. You know, wear bulletproof vests, never happened. So our liability has gone up, and they're going to charge you for that. So, again, I love it from the grant perspective and the fact that you do get refunds, which vary from $6,000 to $20,000. I'd say the average is probably $10,000 the year you get back. They insure Allegheny County Sheriff's Offices, just so you know.
We don't have to do anything with this, right?
Nope.
Just review it.
You don't, I just want to let you know why it was an increase, and, you know,
So is that technically a non-profit?
they're not-profit. And like, they don't insure Walmart or Costco, it's municipalities, police, and fire and stuff. They do not do workers' compensation, that's another insurance company.
Like Kathy said when she first came on board, you have lots of insurance here, and yes, we do.
Captive.
Okay, moving on. Here's your favorite part of the year, election of fire board officers.
I think things have gone fine just the way they are.
I like that.
I wanna make a
I
motion
second
to keep the
that.
officers the same.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Roll call.
Well, so that Jane is chair, Eric is vice chair, Dan is secretary, and Scott is vice secretary?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure I have them all right.
Good memory.
Way to go.
Okay,
That should be a roll call.
Oh,
okay,
well, roll call.
sure. All right, Phelps?
Yes.
Who's seconded? Aldridge?
Yes.
Beckman?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Verplank?
You got it.
Was that a no? Operating?
Yes.
And Millet?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no sense throwing yourself on the sword, you know? Well, thank you.
Okay. There are two things I missed.
Well,
May I?
yeah.
Number one, this just came in today, cost recovery check from consumers for sitting on a wire down, $424. There'll be more of those coming back. What I inadvertently omitted was, I updated the fee schedule. For example, we talked about fees. If Shakespeare on the Moon was gonna use more than 2 people, how do we charge them? And that rate comes off of this. And this is a fee schedule we refer to as a cost recovery fee schedule. We added on here, for example, we had to rent fire extinguishers to a for-profit organization. That's on here. Emergency lights are on here. This, I added 3% on for the cost of living this year, and I update it. So this is the basis. So this is increased. This includes benefits. We've been using this format for probably 5 years, and I add percentages on.
These are all per hour.
Yes, sir. All per hour. And like inspections, I got hammered on 4th of July. I actually billed for some of these inspections. This is getting out of hand. So that's what this stuff is. It's an updated fee schedule, and I apologize, I should have caught this up here. As you know, I asked you should include this. And this is on the
Do we need to
lead
make a
side.
motion to accept? I think you're right. Looking at those numbers, they're on the low side.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
I
It's
don't-
better on the number of hours, so if your Shakespeare in the
Yeah.
Parkdale is 4 hours, now you're getting to a number that's gonna cause people to think, which is exactly what this is about.
yeah. So,
And this is what we use like when we're on the highway, which is predominantly your billing. But this is
That
what we
keeps us
use.
from getting somebody coming in saying, you're being arbitrary or whatever, but it's the same as that.
Right.
So it's across the board for everybody.
okay, so, all those in favor of, I guess I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the
Update.
updated draft copy of the cost recovery schedule of payment for charges.
Second.
Okay, got a motion by Beckman, a second by Fox. Any discussion?
You just need to, John, you need to add the date on this, please.
There's one, Bob, for the buys.
No, nothing on the bottom. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on. There is no correspondence. Public comment?
I just wanted to say, for your unfinished business item, I think Mary Whiteford's office has been greatly helpful, working with both her, I mean, she's even texted on Sunday afternoons with information, and then Kelly in her office, but we're working towards getting a list of agencies together for this exact situation, both for this particular patient as well as future ones. And I think the goal is to not get to the point of meeting this cost recovery policy, is to get her partnered up with, you know, the area Alliance on Aging, the PACE program, one of those type of people that can get in there and give her the help she needs that we're not capable of doing, so she can have a live-in care aide or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I just want to thank Mary Whiteford's office, who's just been amazing, and, you know, hopefully we'll have some resolution on that very soon, so.
Good.
Fire board comments, Aaron?
Nope.
Kathy? Scott?
Nope.
You have a new city manager now, Rick?
Rich.
Rich.
New
I met him
there,
quickly.
new in ours, new everywhere.
I met him briefly at Bill's retirement situation.
Well, maybe at some point we should have a powwow with HPD. Yeah,
Yeah.
with all of the new managers and the old one, and see how we're doing. Okay, anybody else?
Oh, Township's looking at the IFC next month, so
Yes.
we're
Yes.
moving on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Kathy.
It was a 5 o'clock playground meeting, so.
That'll be over at 5:15.
Just vote yes. and you'll be-
Yeah, a new playground, right?
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. All right, anybody else? We are adjourned.
Thank you.